It's 2011 at Chapada Diamantina National Park in Brazil. Eddie Meirelles is driving out to a remote waterfall when he says he notices a mysterious craft hovering above his car. Eddie quickly jumps out of the vehicle and makes a run for it, but not before capturing this. A perfectly spherical orb appears to float behind a visibly shocked Eddie. He takes several photos with the object, each one adding to the mystery. In some, the objects appear metallic. Others show what look like 3 small landing lights around the bottom. But Eddie isn't out of the woods yet.
According to Eddie, he was unable to start the car immediately after his sighting, and there's a lot of accounts where people see objects hovering in the sky and experience car trouble, electrical systems fail, and the belief is that the UFO is somehow disrupting the electrical signals from the technology.
When Eddie finally does make it home, he shares the photos online, dubbing them the first ever UFO selfies. The pictures draw massive attention, but according to Eddie, it's not all good.
He alleges that his home was raided by soldiers in military camouflage looking for more evidence. And they subjected him to intense interrogation, so intense, in fact, that he was hospitalized as a result.
According to some, this wouldn't be the first time the Brazilian government has concealed claims of UFO activity. It all goes back to one of the country's most famous UFO cases, which occurred 34 years prior and about 1,000 miles north in a town called Colares.
The Colares UFO incident of 1977 is what we call a mass sighting. So several hundred people in the town saw strange lights, and several alleged that they were injured by these lights.
The Brazilian Air Force even investigated the claims in an effort known as Operation Prato, which means Operation Saucer.
Officially, the Brazilian government has come out and said that it found no evidence of anything unusual. However, some ufologists believe that that's simply a cover-up.
So what's going on in Brazil? Maybe Eddie's photos can reveal the truth.
A lot of people online believe that the base of this round object, that reflective part, shows distant worlds and acts as a sort of portal to a faraway place. There's people who believe that what Eddie saw was not necessarily a UFO as an object, but rather a portal to another dimension.
Terrible at this. Selfies are usually meant to capture our best selves, but they can capture a lot more than that. For example, in March of 2025, a South Carolina thief accidentally snapped a selfie while stealing a trail cam from someone's home. Take a look at that. He captured proof of his own crime. But did Eddie's selfie capture proof of a UFO?
We don't see any propulsion system. We don't see any flight control surfaces. There aren't many conventional objects that can maintain a perfect spherical shape in flight.
True, but we can think of one.
I think perhaps one of the more plausible theories is that this might be some kind of spherical drone, which is usually a permeable shell around a coaxial drone. But it looks a little bit too solid to be that type of drone to me.
Then could this be something as simple as a water droplet on the camera lens?
This looks a little bit like a drop of water, but water drops on the lens, even if you use a macro lens, aren't in focus. You actually have to have the water drop some distance away from the lens. If you put the drop on the lens, you don't see that shape. So this is not a water drop on the lens.
So could it just be a balloon?
I can't see a tether or string to the object that might indicate it's a balloon, but at the same time, we know that balloons can be spherical, and so this could quite easily be some type of a mylar party balloon, where you're looking at the back side of it, giving you that reflective quality.
Of course, that would call Eddie's entire story into question, and maybe it should.
We're led to believe that something shut down the electronics in the eyewitness's vehicle, but evidently had no effect on his camera phone or whatever he filmed the pictures with.
I don't think people will be taking the time to take selfies if there was a weird object floating around in the sky.
Our verdict? This is a hoax made possible by a simple spherical balloon. But as far as we're concerned, that Colares case is still open. Some people, including our own Lou Elizondo, are convinced the Brazilian government hasn't released all the information they have. We'll be ready when they do.